welcome. My name is Jody Scholes. I am your instructor for the MBLEx review course. Welcome. Today we are talking about ethics, boundaries, laws, and regulations. And did you realize that 31% of your MBLEx is not about massage, about hands-on techniques? Did you realize that it is about guidelines to a professional practice and ethics, boundaries, laws, and regulations? Two categories make up 31% of your MBLEx. That's 3 out of 10 questions. So that's why we're studying it. That's why we've got a couple classes dedicated in our 8-week cycle to this particular category, these two categories. So our class goes down in 3 parts. The first part is going to be a test-taking strategy. The second part is a bunch of learning. And then the third part is dissecting questions. That's right, dissecting questions, techniques that you're going to be able to apply directly to your MBLEx. And so let's begin with a test-taking strategy. And the test-taking strategy applies for when you're doing your practice exams. So everybody in our community takes practice exams. And those practice exams are in the online learning center. So things are maybe just a little confusing when you get started. So I like to kind of walk you through that. Patreon is where we communicate. It's where I put up motivation. It's where I put up the links to these classes. Patreon is our communication tool. Your learning happens in the online learning center. That's that URL address of the business of bodywork. So you get your username and password and you log into the online learning center. You click a few links or click a few buttons and you get to your practice exam. Yeah, so getting to your practice exam. Now that practice exam can be taken in 2 different ways. And I'd like you to decide, depending on where you are with your studying, how you're going to approach the practice exam. So the very first time you take a practice exam, I would love it if you just went straight through, finished in under 2 hours, and got a result. That is simulating the MBLEx. Yeah. So if you know you're taking, like one of our members here, I won't say who, but is taking their MBLEx next week, they know the day, they know the time. So what you can do is take that time of day, say it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can sit down to take your practice exam. Yeah. So you're simulating the day, the time, what you'll be wearing. It's really simulating, pretending you're actually taking the MBLEx. Yeah, yeah. So that's one way to approach your MBLEx, your practice exam, if you're pretending that you're taking the MBLEx, right? The other way, the second way, is to learn what you don't know, you don't know. Yes. So by going through, planning on more than 2 hours, figuring out what you don't know, and looking it up. Miss Juvie, we have someone in the waiting room. Thank you. So going through that MBLEx exam, that practice MBLEx exam, and when you get stuck on a question, Google it. Look it up in your book. It's not cheating, it's learning. Yeah, and it's one way you can do meaningful homework. And now and then you'll hear me talk about meaningful homework. And that's my test-taking strategy for you today. Approach the practice exam in an intentional way. An intentional way meaning either simulating the MBLEx or knowing that you're going in there to make some notes and to do a deeper dive on these questions that maybe trip you up. Finding the right answers. So, and just so you know that with the practice exam, at the very end, when you click submit on that last question, there's a screen that pops up, gives you your score. If you score more than 50%, good job. More than 60%, you're getting there. More than 70%, you pass. But before you click any more buttons, you have two that I'd like you to choose from. One says review test. Two says continue. Now, I don't know why it says continue. I didn't make that one. I can't change it. But what I'd like you to do is review your test. And you can save a copy of your test. Now, if you are at the $49 level or higher, you can request from me a copy of your practice exam, and I will give you at least 3 pieces of feedback on some of those questions. So at least 3 comments that say, okay, go ahead and study the benefits of massage, mechanical versus reflexive. Do a deeper dive. Go back and study that again. Go ahead and learn the joints. Learn your 6 joints that you need to know. So I'll give you feedback on that exam if you're at that $49 level or higher. So that is my test taking strategy for you today. Do meaningful homework as you complete that practice exam. So set that practice exam at the same time, the same day as you're going to take your MBLEx. Now, what if you don't know what time you're taking your MBLEx? Well, that's okay. You can make an appointment with yourself. Each week, you make an appointment with yourself. You put it in your calendar. You put it in your day timer. You put it in your phone that you have this appointment with yourself each and every week, same day, same time, to study. Yes, to study. Good. You're starting to get the idea, right? That when you make this a consistent habit, when you have an appointment with yourself, that you study more consistently and more effectively. All right, speaking of studying, ready to tackle some ethics? Excellent. Okay, here we go. Welcome to the MBLEx Review course. This is the section on ethics, boundaries, laws, and regulations. As we go through this stuff, it's so normal. It's absolutely normal. Almost every class it happens. Someone says in the chat, oh my gosh, I did not learn this in massage school. That's okay. That's okay. You might not have been in class that day. You might have been at the bathroom that day. They may not have taught it that day. Yeah. So that's okay. That's why we're reviewing it now. And that's the purpose of you being here, right? So that you can thoroughly review everything that's going to be on the MBLEx. And we know what's on the MBLEx. Well, we know the categories of what's on the MBLEx because we have the Federation's content outline. And that's where these classes are built from the content outline. Here's what we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about standards of practice. There's 6 of them. Standards of practice. We're going to compare it to the scope of practice because it's not the same thing. And then we're going to be talking about the Code of Ethics from both the AMTA and the NCB-TMB. So these are the foundational principles that you'll need to know to answer your ethics questions. So I mentioned standards of practice. How boring, right? Well, no, not really. Standards are these guidelines that we use to determine what's competent. This standard is competent. This benchmark, this level this level of care, this degree of excellence. And this is why we pass the MBLEx. Even though I think it's more than an entry-level exam, it's a benchmark. It's a standard. Once you pass it, you're going to feel great. You are going to feel amazing. Yeah. So all of the standards that we're about to discuss, that we're about to review, give you a guide to the knowledge, the skills, the point of view, the attitudes that are needed to protect the public, to practice safely. And these are 6 standards you need to know. So let's go over them. So standard number 1 is professionalism. Ooh, professionalism. Now, you can read the slide, but professionalism is excellence, is your form of excellence. Now, we all have an opinion about what's professional. When you go to a restaurant, you have an opinion about how to be treated professionally, the level, the standard that you're expecting. You're expecting your host or your server to be dressed a certain way. You're expecting the food to look a certain way on the plate. That's a part of professionalism. And so just like that, your clients are expecting that you are going to look a certain way. You are going to be talking to them in a certain way. Now, we are careful to use more common language with our clients versus medical terminology or jargon. We're not going to be saying, oh, I'm going to work your QL. Your client's probably not, unless they're a nurse or a doctor, they probably aren't going to know what that means. And so using proper language, professional language, but not jargon, not medical terminology. Being polite, taking a shower, having a change of clothes. Look, you never know when the AC is going to go out, right? And I don't know about you, but I'm a sweater. So I have a clean shirt that's in the closet or in the car, that just in case it gets to be a warm day. Or if you're working an event, you can see here one of the pictures is a sports massage event. That was actually me on the far, I guess it's on the far left. I'm the one in the black pants. Yeah. And at an event, you're most likely to get dirty. You're schlepping your table. Just taught a sports massage class, and we've got to be prepared for sweaty people or for getting an oil stain on your shirt. Yeah. So maintaining a professional appearance, maintaining a professional dialogue with your clients is part of your commitment to our profession. I want to pause here because I think we have a few people in the waiting room. Got one person in the waiting room, Judy. All right. Let's talk for a moment about this word, professionalism, because there are 3 forms of it that you may see: professional, professionalism, and profession. And we've been learning how to pull words apart, right, to understand their meaning. So professionalism is what we've just talked about. It's one of our standards of practice. But you are going to be a licensed healthcare professional. A professional is a person. You are, as a professional, you have a job, right? And your job is your profession. Now, if you speak English as a second language, I am sorry. I should have a slide for this, so we see all 3 words. But if you look here, the profession is the first part of the word, ends here at the end. The profession is the job. The professional is the person. You're a licensed healthcare professional. And professionalism is our standard of practice. It is how we show up in representing massage therapy, your professionalism. And I am expecting, especially after taking my classes, that you are going to have a degree of excellence in your professionalism. All right, let's move on. Our second standard of practice is our legal and ethical requirements. So we're leaving professionalism behind. We're moving to the next standard. We have an expectation, a standard of practice, that we are going to know all the legal and ethical requirements of our job, of being a massage therapist. And so massage therapists have to comply with all of their legal requirements. That could be, you have to pass the MBLEx. That's for your state and for almost every state in the nation. You may have a county requirement. You may have a town requirement. You may have a city requirement. Yeah. So all of these, you've got to find out for your zip code where you're practicing. So, for example, in Florida, they have rules about a home-based practice. Yeah. So if you're having a home-based practice, look into those laws. Now, for the purposes of the MBLEx, if it says you can't practice at home, then for the purposes of the MBLEx, you don't practice at home, right? Yeah. So let's take a look at the map. And so does your state issue a license or a certification? We see here a picture of Canada. And in Canada, they are called registered massage therapists. And did you know that in Canada, it's 2,000 hours of education to become a massage therapist? Yeah, 2,000 hours. And it's covered by healthcare. Yeah, interesting, eh? Right? Interesting, eh? Ha, ha, ha. So here you'll see that Minnesota, Wyoming, and Kansas, and Vermont have no regulations right now. Kansas is moving towards it in as a state. However, Minnesota and Wyoming have many jurisdictions that do require a license or a certification. Likewise, California just recently stopped requiring the MBLEx. You can get licensed in California by passing the MBLEx, but you can also get licensed in California without passing it. So these laws and regulations change quite often. And it's your responsibility, your responsibility to find out for your zip code, what are your legal and ethical requirements? What are your legal requirements as far as having a license, sometimes, you're licensed to practice massage. When I started practicing massage, I had my county license, I had my state license, I had passed the national certification exam, I've passed the MBLEx. I'm good to go, right? Nope, I wasn't. I had all my professional licenses, but I did not have a business license. And the town that I was practicing in, I needed a business license. How was I supposed to know? At the end of the day, it was still my responsibility. I was practicing illegally for 30 days. Yeah. And I didn't even know it. So again, it comes back to you and you knowing. But that's our standard of practice. And they make it super clear. I'm licensed in the state of Florida, Virginia, and New Hampshire. They make it super clear in the state of Florida, you'll be fined. Doesn't matter if you didn't know. You will be fined. All right. We are winding down our talk on ethics. Ethics are simply the principles that govern your behavior or a group's behavior. Every now and then you'll be asked a definition. So the NCB TMB states their code of ethics, just as a generality, that, again, we're reviewing this, that basically all of these things mean that you are justified for the public trust. You are operating safely for the public. And this enhances that your actions enhance the reputation of massage therapists across the nation, across the world, and that you are committed to creating that safe space for your individual clients. Yeah. So far, this is some tough material, kind of boring, but worth it. Let's do this thing. First question. The quality of accepting the consequences of your actions and claiming responsibility for your decisions is called blank. We'll read the question again. It's great practice to read the question twice, at least twice. The quality of accepting the consequences of your actions and claiming responsibility for your decisions is called blank. A, integrity. B, accountability. C, moral high road. D, dual relationships. Ooh, we got answers coming in. Now, our test-taking strategy, while we dissect questions, is to eliminate one wrong answer. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate a wrong answer here. The quality of accepting the consequences of your actions and claiming responsibility for your decisions is not dual relationships, right? Dual relationships is when we know somebody outside of the treatment room, outside of being a client, either before or after. All right, let's take a look in our chat box and we'll see what we've got. I will answer all of your questions after class. I see some in there, yeah. Oh, very good. Let's see. CJ got it. Diane, yes. Brianne, yes. Jeffrey, hey, hi. Kadeem, hi. Yes, you got it. Sharita got it. Yeah. Christy, good. Marcia, yeah. Patience, yep. Petithia, yeah. Roxanne, hello. Ingrid got it. Brenda got it. Good, good. All right, ready? Best answer? Accountability. Yes, the quality of accepting the consequences of your actions and claiming responsibility for your decisions is called accountability. You are holding yourself accountable. Good, good. That is an ethical standard. Being accountable for your actions. Next question. When a client feels an emotional connection to the therapist, positive or negative, that has nothing to do with the actual relationship. When a client feels an emotional connection to the therapist, positive or negative, that has nothing to do with the actual relationship. Integrity, transference, countertransference, dual relationships. So our test-taking strategy, we read the question twice, we eliminate one wrong answer. All right, let's eliminate a wrong answer. When a client feels an emotional connection to the therapist, positive or negative, that has nothing to do with the actual therapist, it is not integrity. No. All right, let's look in the chat. Let's see what we got. Very good, Brianne, yes. CJ, yes. Jeffrey, good. Diane, good. Yes. Genesis, hi. Lily, yes. Maya, yes. Kadeem, good. Sharita, yep. Roxanne, Patience, Ingrid, yeah. Marcia, Petithia, yeah. McKaylee, good. Brenda, yes. Allegra, hello. Yep. You were not tricked. Good. Best answer? Transference. Yes, when a client feels an emotional connection to the therapist, positive or negative, that has nothing to do with the therapist, with the actual relationship, what's happening is transference. When you know someone before you give them a massage. When you know someone before you give them a massage. It's your in-laws. It's time for friends and family discounts. Better take the moral high road. Dual relationships. When you know someone before you give them a massage. Let's get rid of one wrong answer. Seems that I have edited this question incorrectly. So let's go ahead and I will tell you the answer. Let's go ahead and look in the chats. You guys all got it. We just talked about it. Yeah, it's supposed to be a sneak in question. All right, Genesis, you got it. Brienne nailed it. Okay, where am I? Yes. Diane, you got it. Maya, yes. Lily, good. Good, CJ. Yes, Kadeem. Marcia, yep. Patience, yep. Ingrid, Petithia, good. Christy, yep. Shrita, excellent. Jeffrey, got it. Candace, good. Roxanne, Michaela, good. You're very quick, guys. And Brenda, yeah. Best answer here is dual relationships. Yep, dual relationships. So letter D, dual relationships. You got it. Okay. Maintaining SOAP or progress notes for each client session is a part of which standard of practice? Read them all. Careful. Maintaining SOAP notes or progress notes for each client session is a part of which practice? A, business practices. B, prevention of sexual misconduct. C, confidentiality. D, roles and boundaries. All right, we're going to get rid of one wrong answer. Doesn't have anything to do with sexual misconduct. Okay. Ooh, you got 14 answers. Ooh, you guys got it. Good. Sharita, good. Diane, good. Brienne, yes, good. Maya, you got it. Candace, yeah. Lily, good. Marcia, Kadeem, Patience, good. Roxanne, Ingrid, Jeffrey, Petithia, yeah. Christy, good. Good, good, good. None of you got tricked by this one. Best answer? Letter A, business practices. This is yes, good. All right. That is it for today. You have just crossed the finish line for this study session. Yes. And you have a bigger finish line that you are looking to cross as well. That bigger finish line of passing the MBLEx. And what's so crazy is that the finish line is also the starting line. Yeah. So great work today on a topic that is kind of boring. I wouldn't say it's boring. I say that sometimes, and it's not really true. It's interesting. It's just a lot of words, and it's a lot of thinking, right? It's a lot of deciphering what is ethical behavior. And so we're super clear on what it is as far as being a licensed massage therapist. So thanks so much for being here today. I'm going to hang out for about 15 minutes after class to answer the questions that came up in the chat and any that you have regarding your program. I'll remind you that my name is Jody Scholes. I am your instructor for the MBLEx review course. So glad that you have been here. Thanks so much for being here with us and studying with us. We'll see you again real soon.